This story really came out of left field for me. Do you remember Casey Anthony? Casey Anthony is this woman who was accused of murdering her 2-year-old daughter and then disposing of the body in the trunk of her car in the woods, and then going out and partying for a month and not reporting her daughter being missing. And then finally, when the daughter was reported missing, she acted really weird, and the parents acted weird, and Casey Anthony's parents acted weird, and the whole thing was just really horrifying. And she got off because the state did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt in the minds of most jurors that she had, in fact, murdered her daughter and how she had murdered her daughter. But most people left that trial, even after she was technically acquitted, most people left that trial still thinking she probably murdered her daughter or was involved in it. So anyway, this is not a popular person in America. And now she's decided to become an influencer.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Caylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. As a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights. I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact, so you will get very comfortable with my car, and I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy.
She's going to protect her privacy by becoming famous, more infamous than she already is. We've reached peak influencer. How many people say, I just want privacy? You know, I really just want to be left alone and have privacy. It's the Meghan Markle effect. Please, I'm going on every TV show in the world so that I can plead for privacy. I don't think they want privacy. A lot of people do that. We have a lot of influencers these days. I don't know exactly what an influencer is. In a way, I guess I'm technically an influencer. Am I an influencer? Do I count as an influencer? I don't do dances on TikTok or anything, and I do occasionally write, but I don't know. I might, but this is too far. When Casey Anthony becomes an influencer, that is too far. But she's saying it's her professional capacity. I don't know, maybe she needs the money. And she thinks it's an easy way to make a buck by taking her infamy and trying to monetize it. But what is she going to be influencing on behalf of? Well, she says, I want to be speaking out for LGBT and this and that, and women's rights. And what is meant by women's rights? When people on the political left, people who are on the side of whatever, LGBT activism and this and that, when they talk about women's rights, what are they talking about? They're talking about one thing. They're talking about abortion. They're talking about killing their own kids. Right now, go to expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. In this country today, privacy is a luxury. Okay, but privacy is very important to our American way of life. Who has the luxury of privacy? Generally speaking, not you and me. Privacy is given to the government, tucked into millions of classified documents from the very people who work for us. It's no secret that the NSA is surveilling us. They're buying your information from data brokers, watching every move you make online. But what if I told you there was a way to stop that transaction? What if I told you there's a way to get your privacy and freedom back? You can do it with a product called ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is an app that sends 100% of your online activity through secure encrypted servers. That means data brokers can't see anything you do online, and their customers, government agencies, and tech companies can't access those logs. Okay, this is really simple stuff. Even for me, I'm kind of a Luddite. You download ExpressVPN, you click one button on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer. Boom, you're done. With ExpressVPN, none of your online activity is logged. Just within the last 12 months, ExpressVPN received over 400,000 data requests from tech companies and government agencies. Do you know how many of their customers' information was shared? 0. ExpressVPN has a strict zero logs policy. Plus, ExpressVPN is easy to use. Takes one click, boom, you're done. You can have it on up to 8 devices at once, protecting your whole family. Right now, find out how you can get 4 months for free by scanning the QR code on screen, clicking the link in the description below, or going to expressvpn.com/Michael Knowles Show. Whatever you want to say about Casey Anthony, I think most people who followed this case still suspect that she murdered her daughter. She was acquitted, so it's just an allegation, an accusation, a hunch. It's not. She was acquitted. She was not acquitted. She was convicted of lying to authorities. But people still suspect. Okay, they say this woman, she might be one of the worst people in America. And yet, what Casey Anthony was accused of doing is pretty much exactly the same as what abortionists and their customers do. There is no real difference. There is no real difference between what Casey Anthony did, allegedly, and what abortionists in this country do every day and what the customers of abortionists do every day. What's the difference? Well, Casey Anthony's daughter was like 26 months older. That's the difference. Well, allegedly, what Casey Anthony did was illegal. I mean, sure, abortion's illegal in some places. But we're just talking about the actual act, the act itself. Forget about the positive law for a second. It's just the act. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think Casey Anthony deserves all the scorn she gets, of course. I mean, those of us who suspect that the jury came to the wrong conclusion, we're not, and no one's pulling their punches on Casey Anthony. But yeah, it's fitting that she's an abortion activist now, because abortion is the same thing that Casey Anthony did. Hello there. Good to see you. I'm glad you could make it over this way to our channel. If you want to do this again, maybe encounter one another more frequently, you should ring the bell and subscribe, and then we can do that whenever we like. See you next time.